Hey everybody, welcome to the Download Youth Ministry web show. Doug Fields here. The Queen, Katrina Edwards, Katie Edwards, junior high pastor at Saddleback Church, is back. We've missed her the last couple times.
I know, I miss you guys.
It's not the same without you.
It's not.
Thank you.
We like Josh. He's to your left.
Hello.
Josh Griffin, the high school pastor at Saddleback Church. You can barely tell he's here anymore. He's lost so much weight.
You do look so
I don't
good.
know. We're gonna have to get a new T-shirt from Matt McGill.
Do for you.
You don't have skin cancer.
Just kidding.
Anyway, the Download Youth Ministry web show is brought to you, powered by Youth Specialties, which Youth
Did we have to
Specialties.
start over? Was that really
No,
that bad?
it wasn't that bad.
No.
Youth Specialties has been talking a lot about the National Youth Workers Convention,
Yes, they
which is
have.
happening at the beginning of October.
Just say the fall.
Yeah.
October and November.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
one's in Sacramento.
And we're at you guys are
one's in
teaching the
Atlanta.
first 2 years. You're
Yeah.
teaching the first
As
2
well.
years.
And they're
It's gonna be
teaching
fun.
the
Kathy and
first
I are
years.
doing a ministry in marriage. We're doing a podcast in
Yes.
Sacramento.
Gonna
You
be
want to be there?
magical. Don't miss
we
it.
have some
Are we doing a
wonderful.
podcast on the other one?
I don't know if we're doing one in
Oh,
Atlanta
it's
yet. We'll have to
magic.
find out. I don't know.
not?
Are you going to Atlanta?
I am.
Oh, are you?
I'll go, but I gotta be
Yeah.
late. That's why I'm missing that seminar.
Oh, okay. We'll figure it out. Yeah, Matt, you'll go.
Yeah. No, you're
Just
in.
you can do it without me. I'm the expendable crewman, and I know that.
That's right.
So
You're the
Really?
one that
You're the red shirt.
you're the one that pays attention to the camera though.
the red light. I'm just checking the
Yeah.
red light.
I
Like,
watched
not
our
me.
special edition
not me.
from the one we did the game stand
Yeah,
stall, which
yeah.
I'm actually wearing my
Oh, yeah.
when the game
That
stand
was a
stall.
great movie.
It's a
You
great
loved
movie.
that
See
movie.
it?
I loved it. My kids loved it.
We
It's
saw it
gonna
at a
be-
Boys
youth
love
worker
football so
screening.
much.
Did you actually
Coming
cry?
Coming soon.
Oh yeah, I cried 8 times. I mean, teared up. I wasn't like.
I'm
You
glad
tallied 8
because
times?
Oh,
so
yeah.
did I,
At
and I was
least.
like, "Why am I? I must have had a rough week because I
No.
don't cry."
I
Yeah,
think
you don't
sports
have
I
any-
movies
was
are
like,
emotional.
this is sad.
I
Okay,
think they're
I'm-
emotional.
Maybe I'm feeling like a rock. I don't know.
Here it is.
Yeah.
You're jaded.
Yeah.
You're cold.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
You
your
will not be
generation.
manipulated by Hollywood.
Well, here's part of it is
Take a stand.
I'm sitting next to my
tall.
22-year-old son
Uh-huh.
who played high school and college football, and I'm watching like that dad kiss the funeral, the casket,
Yeah.
and I'm just going. I'm like, that was the
Yeah.
rough part for me.
I thought
That
maybe
was
the
the one
dad.
you could identify with. I don't get that.
No, that was the one that made me sad. The thought of like,
Oh,
losing my. I
okay.
can't even imagine.
Oh, I thought maybe the
losing my child.
dad pushing his child into a sport that he really didn't want. I thought
Yeah,
maybe that was the
you
one you
identified with that. Dad. That's right.
Yeah.
You will win this trophy.
Uh,
It was a good movie, though.
was really
good.
It's coming to theaters soon. We got to see
August
a preview
22nd.
screening, So, yeah.
August
it
22nd.
will. There are leadership lessons that will make you a better youth worker. I mean,
Wow, there you go.
and I-
After the
That's a bold
premiere,
statement.
Matt's like, if you
Yeah.
don't want to do youth ministry after that, you're an idiot.
yeah.
It's true. It's true.
They should
Cheers.
make that a poster.
I agree. We could get a
did-
T-shirt.
It wasn't
Add that
quite
to your-
like that.
add
I
that
hate
to your
being
calendar.
Misquoted.
Add that to your
I hate being
calendar.
Misquoted. It's like, saw off my arm. Don't misquote me.
Hey, add that
It
to
was
your calendar.
I'd quote that.
Saw off your arm. Don't miss. You don't know this, Katie,
Yeah,
and
it's
I'm not
a
going to
secret.
touch you there. But Matt is doing a calendar, a 365-day calendar for DYM members only, and it's going to be a picture of Matt and one of his quotes.
It's all
That's
great.
So we're
great.
working
it's
on
like
it.
a word of the day type of
Kind of a
thing.
word
Yeah.
of the day, but
Love it.
it's a quote of the day.
Oh,
Are you
I love
just writing it
it.
yeah,
down?
right now. Just
Okay.
Do it.
I'm
Can I tell you guys a funny
excited.
story? I just remembered
Let-
something randomly.
Okay, go ahead.
I spoke at a camp a couple weeks ago. The opening video, opening night, first line of the video. It's the first week of camp for the whole year, so this is the first time the video's been shown. Has a swear word in it, right as it opens up, like a sexually charged, provocative word in the first sentence. And they just ripped some video off of YouTube. And it was hilarious. I almost died. Partially because I wasn't
'Cause you had your
responsible
own
for the program.
flashbacks. You had your own
I've had
flashbacks.
flashbacks to all those moments where I've had that
Yeah.
like youth ministry horror story. And since I was just the speaker, I wasn't in charge. No parents were going to complain to me. I was like, this is hilarious. But the pain of that moment for those people.
Well, they fixed
What
it.
was the word?
They fixed it.
I can't say it. I'll write it down for you.
it was that bad, huh?
Yeah.
Even as telling a story, you just can't.
Well, I
Into
could, but
the
you'd
scene.
literally have to bleep it out.
And
Oh,
then
wow.
and then he'd be misquoted and bleeped
Yeah.
all
I,
over the
yeah,
place.
sure.
saw off my legs. They're out
we
of misquote.
we have some what
heard
we
someone
call
say.
our secondary but lovely sponsors.
Yes.
I was telling somebody the other day, we've been doing this for a long time. None of our sponsors have left us yet.
Yes.
They're
Wow.
very
they're-
happy.
I know. That's
Why
I
would
love
they?
that.
You know
They're
why?
like
Because you
part of
should go
what's
to these
happening.
events, conferences, resources, college, universities, all of them. Go to them.
Go to all of them.
Keep them happy.
Youth Ministry 360 has a 52-week Bible study curriculum that they want us to talk about, and it's their Jesus study. If you use the code DYM 2014, you get a
Get a deal?
discount. And we talk all the time about how we love Youth Ministry 360. They do
Great
great,
stuff.
great stuff. Leader Treks, they have. They've got some incredible post-mission trip stuff.
Yeah.
And
Help
they're
really bring it home.
yeah, beyond the trip, from mission trip to a life of mission. They've got, if you go over to their website, missiontripresources.com, rappelling from mountaintops to a life of mission.
You know, I realized we haven't done a lot of giveaways lately.
We haven't done
Our
We don't-
shows.
haven't done any.
we don't
Is
mail
that a
things
thing?
anymore.
That's true. Download it.
Yeah.
It's
But
what we do.
Actually, good
I
cover.
like that.
This
I like
one's
that.
great.
Good cover and good byline, rappelling from mountaintops.
We use some
to a
of
life-
this stuff.
This
We've
was
used that.
this was
That's
the
a good one.
runner-up
Love
to
it.
my favorite, which was spelunking from top to bottom.
Digging
But,
deep
yeah,
into
it
God's
just
word.
didn't-
Totally. Didn't
Spelunking.
take off or
Yeah,
anything.
it's weird that didn't catch on.
Yeah.
Okay,
Why
hey,
did
we
they take
talked.
that?
We talked about we're going to do a short show because we've got summer programs
Yeah.
happen tonight. Everybody's got to run. So, and we're also going to.
Because in California, summer starts in July.
Yeah, mid-July. Hey, that's what we do.
It
But
does.
here's what we're going to do. We're going to do
Here's the
30,
big crime.
30-minute
Why
show.
are we doing this when we should be watching?
30-minute show. Don't talk about an event because
Okay.
we don't want people to know what date this was. So you're going to talk
Feels
about
so
a movie
deceptive.
that was coming out, and
1974.
people are going to go, "Oh, that came out like 2 weeks ago."
And they'll feel like it's an old show.
Today is September 12th,
Look,
1974.
our content is eternal.
Great day.
Great day.
Write it down.
Yeah, that was a good quote.
Saw my arm off. That was a great quote.
Yeah, it was a good one.
This is Justin from Twin Oaks Christian. I'm a DYM member and a rewinder.
Hey-o.
Katie, what's a rewinder?
Someone who has gone back all the way to the beginning and watched every single show.
That's right. I have a question about worship in youth group. When I came to my current church in January, the worship was awful. The sponsor
Aw.
leading was
God wasn't
never
honored, huh?
prepared, and the students were just sitting there talking on their phones. So I have stopped doing music until I can restructure how it is done. I want it to be a meaningful time and not a waste of time. Since then, the sponsor leading has been less than reliable, and he's the only one that has the ability to lead worship. We have a few talented students, but I don't feel like they are strong enough to lead. What should I do? Volunteers in youth ministry are scarce, and I feel like I have no options.
That's a bleak email.
Yeah.
We're starting off
I feel
strong.
like I have no hope and no
Yeah.
options.
God was not honored.
Well, let's
At
just
church.
let's
Wow.
just say what we're
That's
all
really
thinking.
been there.
Singing, yeah. Singing is what,
that's
Matt?
Yeah, that's
not
not
bad.
it.
Singing
Yeah,
is
singing
just
is
one
way
form
to
of worship.
And so we did this years ago when high school ministry, when I was running the high school ministry, we just nobody was participating in the singing part of the service. They were not worshiping. And band kids, they would show up, but they wouldn't sing unless they were on stage. They are regulars. It was less than
Very
a third
similar.
of-
Very similar.
yeah,
to what he's
less
talking
than a
about.
third of the room was singing, and so we took 10 months off. And,
Was it that long?
It was
That
10
is
months.
a
Yeah,
long
and it was crazy because
Now we didn't take it off of programming.
no.
We took
and
it off of just-
Other
quit.
forms of worship.
Yeah, I
Music.
know. And
Yeah.
and we had some stuff, and we actually added another service. We added a Sunday night service that had way more songs, and it's like, oh, if you really want to sing, then come back at 7. And they're like, this service. So some kids would come and complain, and it was all the ones that just they lost their ability to sing a song in front of a crowd, so that was their worship or self-worship, one of the two.
Right.
And they were like, this service is going to be so big, you'll see music, kids love it, and all that stuff. And the question I would ask them is, I'd listen and stuff, but I'd say, hey, so when you bring your friends, your visitors, when they come, do they like to sing? And most, well, I don't bring a friend. Well, that's why we're doing this. We're doing this,
Right.
and if you're not even going to participate and be involved. So this was part of a vision casting thing. This was part of a, hey, this is, if you're going to be here and show up and bring your friends, be all in. Be all. And now the ministry, that was just one segment. And then years later, after years and years and years of Taffy, who's the worship pastor for student ministries, building incredible ministry over 14, 15 years. Now, singing is like fantastic in your service. So it's not like we have a secret church and people won't sing. People are singing.
Yeah,
kids
absolutely.
are coming and visiting there for the first time, and it's awesome.
I'm going to go a slightly different angle, take one piece out of that question if I could. The cell phone thing, cell phones in youth group. What would it look like if when students came in, they checked in their cell phone? Just an idea. I haven't done this before, but I was like, this could work. What if they check it in and you put their name on it in a rubber band or something, throw it in a bucket, and you give them a ticket for a Coke, and at the end of the night they get a Coke and their phone or whatever back. So you kind of remove some of those distractions that are pretty common in youth ministry. Like you could say things like, hey, put your phone away, let's kind of focus. If you don't want to be here, you can leave, whatever. But what if you had like a phone, instead of embracing phones, which I think is a good idea too, what if you said, hey, it's a phone-free
So what do you
youth
do?
room?
You embrace the phone or not embrace the phone?
I would embrace the phone, but if that didn't work, which it's obviously not working here, I would say, what if there's some way where you can give everybody a Coke and have some fun with it, sugar them up on the way out, whatever.
There you go.
Or gluten-free granola bar, whatever.
Yeah, either or,
whatever kind of search
whatever
you are.
draws a crowd.
Either
for sure.
works, really.
Yeah.
But that would be a way. Phones can be distracting. I get that. You might want to just give up on them for a season.
The volunteer that's pulling out, I mean, that is a tough thing. Go ahead.
Well, I was just thinking, maybe with this volunteer, you could sit down with that volunteer and talk through what could it look like in seasons to come, and what would it take maybe over the next few months. I think sometimes in youth ministry we want things and we want it right now. We want music's terrible, so I'm quitting it, and it needs to be great, and I want that to happen right this second. But sometimes building things like that into your program takes time, and so what would it look like to sit down with that volunteer with maybe another music person from your church to maybe mentor him and think about like, hey, in 6 months or in 3 or 4 months, I guess 6 months is a really long time, but thinking through like, I don't know, how could we get a few students involved? How could we slowly kind of build towards something great? If you're really excited to have music a part of your program, I think there's great music that draws students in, in all different places. But I don't know, maybe there's a mentoring relationship that could happen that you could work towards over time.
I think the point is you can have a program. Yeah, you're really making a lot of noise here. What is
I'm
that?
sorry, it's just my watch.
I'm over here as quiet as Charity Church Mouse.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I forget what I was saying.
Not important.
You can have a program without having music at it,
Totally.
and I think what Matt talked about. I don't remember it being 10 months, but I remember us getting some heat about it, providing an alternative.
Oh yeah,
on that Sunday night.
The main worship pastor Saddleback kind of was like, "No, I could have helped you with this."
Yeah.
I was like, I'm so thankful. That's great. I didn't realize what he was really saying was, "Why didn't you talk to me first?" Yeah. Indirect. Okay.
That's right. Anyway, it can
calendar.
happen. You can take it off. The other thought. Let's give one more option, and then Parker had a great idea about people that are listening. Actually, how would you answer this question?
Oh, yeah, I like
and
that.
send your answer in to webshow@downloadyouthministry.com.
Cool.
Just remind us of what the question was. So when if
Here's
it's
the
a little
answer.
bit later.
What was the
On
question?
episode 32, you said it's like.
Yeah, but I love the idea of other people weighing in with answers.
Cool.
But what if you just did one song? And what if it was set up a little bit different? And maybe it was set up as a performance song with the few kids that are singing. And so you bring them up front. And we're going to use this time to kind of transition, to focus. Tonight I'm talking on X, and this is a great song that...
By Exhibit.
Totally. That's a good idea.
By Exhibit?
Yeah, the old rap guy.
Super old rock guy that would never
a good
be appropriate in church.
All right.
Never.
He's a Christian now.
Amen. So is MC
I
Hammer,
have
did you
no
know?
idea.
He was a great rap artist.
Wallers is here. My favorite thing is just to get that look of disappointment from him.
Yeah.
Woolers is a friend of
And I'm
ours in the
constantly
studio
getting
audience.
it.
Yeah,
So-
and Chris has high value of humor, too.
He
And so
does.
He does. If you get
gets
him
it.
to laugh,
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
next
you
level.
did well.
Yeah.
Or he's
He's
hitting
always-
you, one or the
yeah,
other. Which I've
he's
had
always
that
laughing
before.
at me, which is the problem.
Well,
So.
That's
Him
probably
and-
most people in
him
your
and
life.
many
though.
others.
Yeah.
You're right.
This is
That's
a question
Yeah,
from
that's
Jeremy. Jeremy Veal says,
Veal.
I'm a recently new DYM member.
Welcome.
And slowly
Angels are partying in heaven.
becoming a rewinder. Thanks a ton for all you guys do and for the encouragement and support you give to youth leaders worldwide.
Did he say he is a rewinder or becoming?
Slowly
He's
becoming
on
a
his way
rewinder.
too.
Yeah, he is a member. That's the key.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
The question I have is this. I am moving to a new church that has never had any type of database system to track information on its students.
Why don't you take this one, Doug?
You see, you get a legal pad out. Get a couple Sharpies.
Get a
and,
Polaroid and write the name on the back.
That's a great way to remember names. I'm with. It's okay.
Yeah, no, it's all right. It's all right. I've forgotten more about youth ministry than Matt knows. So.
Of course.
The question I have is this:
I can say
I'm
the same
moving
thing
to a
about database.
new church that has never had any type of database system to track information on its students. At a previous church I served at, we had Youth Assistant. Youth Assistant was an old software program.
still
Is that
around?
still a thing?
But this service is no longer available.
Thank you for
says
answering the question.
Jeremy.
I feel like I
Yep.
haven't heard
I really
of
enjoyed Youth Assistant, even though I had to use it on my PC instead of my Mac, but I have not found anything like it that is specifically geared for youth ministry. Can you give any suggestions, recommendations for a database tracking system or software that is geared for youth ministry? If there is not one, can you think of one if there's not one, could it be on the list of a future DYM resource?
Oh,
It's a huge undertaking.
It is. It would be awesome, and I would love that.
Again, thanks for all you do. Matt, sorry you got canned. Always wanted to say that. Katie, thanks for keeping those knuckleheads in line.
Yeah,
You
thanks,
guys are the
Katie.
best.
welcome.
You could
We
have
get
kept
you
me
guys.
from getting
We're the you
fired.
guys in that.
Sorry, buddy. Next time.
You can only do
Next
something.
time.
Okay. Tracking.
Well, I feel like there isn't a lot of good youth options out there right now. Youth Assistant was one. Apparently, it is no more.
Apparently.
Yeah. Life Church actually has one that they give away for free that I forget the name of, but just type in Life Church attendance. and it'll come up.
Church stats. What
Yeah,
Have you
something
seen
like
the
that.
new? It's a few months old, but the Lead Small app.
No.
It's really cool. It's pretty new. It's from
Orange?
I found out about it at the Orange Conference, and just started kind of using it with my small group of girls. But it's really cool. It has you attach pictures to names, and it's
Cool.
great for maybe you and a few of your volunteers to use it with your students. It's great for you can group text, email. You can do a lot of stuff from your phone.
That's
so I realize that's
awesome.
smartphone attached, but so far exploring it has been really cool.
great.
Oh, that's cool.
As the manager, I can a lot of times attach. I mean, think I can. When I start to do it, I tried it once, but you can attach curriculum questions or discussion questions for groups for all of your leaders and stuff. So it's kind of cool. I mean,
Is
it's
it a
new.
paid subscription type thing?
It's free.
Oh, okay.
It's a free app. So there is kind of some next levels you can hit, but so far I haven't needed to use those, with kind of
great.
just basic
Sounds
tracking
awesome.
and communication and
Yeah.
stuff. So I don't
Well,
know.
and
Could be
for a
worth a
couple
try.
years. Yeah,
need to
for a
look
couple
It's not a
years.
database.
Josh, who, just take an aside for a second,
Yeah.
and if you have to answer this totally honestly,
Oh, wow.
who is more technological, me or Katie?
Katie.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
By 2%. You're at 4%. She's at 6%.
Really?
wow.
Matt's at 87%.
Yeah.
I'm somewhere in between.
Like 71%.
Seven's at 71.
I'm surprised that
Well,
you
because
couldn't
she
take-
already has that app. She already has
Oh,
that app,
that's-
and you don't. That's the litmus test.
That
right
was the
there.
litmus
That was
test.
it.
and then you didn't answer honestly. It was-
So
that's-
many things that I'm
dumbly.
doing are app driven now, though. But I mean,
Yes, I
especially
know.
with like Planning Center and Lead Small and some of these. I mean, I don't know.
Well,
Gotta
we've,
pass
for
me.
the last few years, in the small group setting, have used churchteams.com. It's a
Yeah.
subscription thing. It's
Yeah.
not cheap, but it's at least something to consider.
But you're at a mega church with tons of money.
No, it's not cheap.
Please.
Look at how he dresses.
Yeah, you're right.
Free T-shirt. Anyhow, whatever. Church teams, and it's more of a small group idea. But you put in
Yeah.
your small groups and a couple leaders, and then you can group check that way, do attendance. It's really a
Yeah.
nice for a decentralized small group system. We really have enjoyed churchteams.com as well. So that would be one.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some big
I've
ones
got
like
nothing.
Fellowship One is a giant one
Yeah.
for your whole
Yeah.
church.
Okay.
Again, very
Another
expensive.
opportunity for our community to write in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What are you doing?
Web
man?
show
I think
download
A
youthministry.com.
big question is, what are you collecting data for? Because I think a lot of times we
Yes.
collect tons of data and do nothing with it. So really, just
What's the
you know,
point?
kind of.
Yeah.
What do you want? Does it need to be a database, or can it be something that's
Yeah, a
meeting
free-
relational needs? I don't know. You
Yeah,
know.
like a free account on MailChimp. You can add MailChimp.com, which is an email provider. You can add as many fields as you want and have a sign-up form. And so you can collect a lot of information from people. And anytime you need to, you can
Right, send out a
download that,
blast or
create
whatever.
labels, and do your own thing. Or it's made for emailing, so you
Yeah.
can email. So, but it just depends on how much information you
Yeah,
want
like
to
what are you
collect.
thinking?
You're- and
and-
are you texting as much as Josh does in high school? Are you?
We do.
So do you use the group texting type thing?
Yeah, we have the same thing actually for both of us, so
Yeah.
students are used to it kind of throughout, so it's nice.
My son, who has a crappy little flip phone, it's his first phone. He just signed up for the Wildside Text, and he is like, as soon as his phone buzzes, we're going to the.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's awesome.
If you're a DYM member, you've got texting included as part of your membership.
That's right.
that's
You're
cool.
welcome.
Yeah, we just added that.
text.
Parker, how fast can we have an attendance app ready? By a Thursday?
Sure.
Okay, so we'll have that
There
by
you go.
Thursday.
Yeah.
DYM.
Before this podcast
Great
is
job,
out.
Parker.
He's good. He's that good.
Yeah. He actually may have created it while we were.
Just talking
Talking.
about it. Right.
Okay.
Done. Bing.
This is going very techie here, and I love this.
Wow,
Dan
two
Katie,
tech
you
questions.
take it.
I'm in, guys.
You take it.
What do you need
Dan
from me?
Livingston writes in. No, this is a community giving us some ideas.
All right.
I've always loved doing scavenger hunts with youth. Dan, look me in the eyes. Me too. I love scavenger
We're doing one
hunts.
tonight. I'm so excited.
I love car rallies.
We're doing.
I love that.
Why are you
We're
laughing?
not doing that
I
tonight.
know. You would
Scavenger
need
hunt's super fun.
Like a car rally, like a. You
Haven't
bring
you done that?
old-fashioned cars into the
No.
parking lot and have
No.
coffee and
No,
donuts.
it's like a
6
scavenger
people
hunt
pile
all
into
over
a
town.
car.
All right, I'm
Yeah,
back in.
Count the
one
number of
one
palm
leader
trees.
has.
I call those scavenger hunts. I don't car rally.
Okay.
What?
I'm gonna create a car rally for your high school ministry.
Please
Do
do.
it.
One,
Clearly he needs help with
I
that.
know.
Holy smokes.
I need
Yeah,
help.
just
in
get
so
get
many.
me volunteer drivers, and I'll put one together for
Okay.
you,
Done.
and it'll be the best thing you've ever done.
I'm in.
Do
Next.
it for freshmen.
I want to do it tonight, but
Well,
it's
it
a little
takes
late.
a while. Yeah, it's work.
Just
Yeah.
print out the one you did before.
What's the question, Doug?
These scavenger hunts take a fair amount of work, but always end up being fun. That's exactly right. Dan. That is
That's
until
not in.
no, that they always wind up being fun. Yeah, it is.
Oh,
That is until the scoring,
Uh-oh.
the arguments, who was late, and we did take that picture, but the camera didn't work. Kinds of stuff. Which
Yes.
I
Phones
know.
on the
None-
space.
there's no problem with any of those.
Yeah. This
You're
week,
either
when
in
I
or
was
you're
in
out.
final preparation for my college group scavenger hunt, I came across goosechase.com.
What?
All I can say is, wow.
Wow.
I can't wait.
I need to use. I have 3
Hold up
hours
right
till this
this
event
second.
starts. I am going to use this right
It allows you
Parker
to
just
create.
created one right now. for you.
now. Parker, it's a
Goose
scavenger
chase.
hunt app.
Yeah.
We're good. We're
Got
good.
it.
It's done. It's on the site.
It allows you to create a photo scavenger hunt, give point values, adjust point values from the website. Teams go out with an app and complete the challenges and take pics.
Love it.
They're uploaded to the online web portal, and scoring is live.
Bold, crazy, highly addictive,
way.
incredibly easy to use.
Best
with
of
the
all,
power.
it's free for non-commercial use.
Oh,
Please share this with the world of youth ministry. They need to know about this. I went
That's
online
rad.
and checked it out.
Yeah.
It's free up to 10 teams.
Okay, so that's a
So
lot of
that's
teams.
huge,
Yeah,
yes.
that's a lot
But
of
then,
people.
after 10, it jumps to like, I don't remember, like $199 or something like that. So, yeah.
So
it's-
10 teams of whatever. That's what
Yeah.
you're sticking to.
Yeah.
Teams of,
Oh, can I
yeah.
text somebody right
just
now?
do multiple accounts.
Well, now you're
Well, then the
thinking.
scoring doesn't compare to each other.
There you go.
You're right.
There you go, Dr. Integrity.
But you could have freshmen, sophomore, junior, seniors, or whatever. That'd be
Yeah,
40. That's
you
so
would be
many
running
teams.
4 different things. You
It's
would,
too many
It would,
teams.
yeah.
Wow.
All right. That goose
Follow
chase.
up to that is how to beat the system, basically.
No, just
How to
run
get this in the
concurrent
go.
programs.
Yeah.
Totally
I
within the
want-
terms and conditions.
Yeah. If you follow Matt's tweets, just check out how many he talks about integrity on.
It's a lot.
That is
Yeah.
true. It is one of your like
Is it?
soapboxes.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
many.
Write them down.
Write 'em
Save it
down.
for the calendar.
Is there any way you can
365
get? Is there any
quotes.
way you can get all your tweets? Just by the way, as we're
Yeah.
talking about me.
You can download all your
On
tweets.
You can do
Twitter.
that?
Only
Yeah.
you can. No one else can.
Oh,
No,
okay.
you can. You can. You could actually have categories, Matt, for your book, like tweets that Matt thinks
thinks
people
are
understand. No, not
Yeah.
funny. Just the ones that sometimes you go
Too
I-
deep to
Yeah.
get.
Yeah, too deep to
Yeah,
get.
well,
And-
sometimes you need to think for more than 10 seconds.
No.
I'm
I think
sorry.
sometimes you need to think before
Not
you
on
tweet.
Twitter.
Well, that's true.
All right, here we go. Last question. Our short
You
show.
used
Here
to
it
not
is.
be able to do that.
What's that?
You couldn't go back and get your tweets. You
Yeah,
could
it's
only
new.
have it
It's
6
new.
months. Okay. 12
I
months.
just went up 2% in this group right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Technologically
73%.
advanced. 73%. Boom.
To my heroes of the day, I am sure you've never heard this before, but I ask that you please don't mention my name in this email. I've been in God's service in youth ministry since 2005. part-time until the end of 2007 and then full-time since then. Recently, I felt that it may be time to make a change and have been offered a position in another church and have been requested by a few people to interview for another open position, including friends that he has worked at. What advice, thoughts do you have about the possibility of changing positions? Okay, that is one to this nameless person. It needs a question mark. But I just read into it that it was a question. So the church that I am at is, when I started, was a rebuilding project. And while it's now stable and on solid ground, the church isn't growing, and I see issues coming up in the future with budgeting concerns. Also, what advice do you have on transitions, conversations to have with the leadership of the church? It's not a church slash pastor that handles change very well. Same senior pastor for 35 years. The previous worship coordinator stepped down after 16 years, and the pastor did not handle it well at all, and there was a lot of pain and tension that was felt by the coordinator. I would prefer to avoid that if God is in fact leading for a change. Love the show. Picked up a lot of great advice from you. Thanks for this awesome ministry. Matt, sorry you got canned, but if you're looking for any volunteer positions,
You have one.
smiley face.
Oh, look at that.
All right.
Oh,
That's great. Someone would take me as a volunteer.
someone wants you.
Well, I mean, working backwards to the email, which doesn't really make sense, but the easiest thing to say is you can't control how that senior pastor is going to respond. And so in a situation like this, there is, in my opinion, not a chance that you can say, hey, I'm kind of thinking about, would you help me pray? Could you walk with me through this transition? Like he or she is not a safe place to do that. Ideally, I mean, when you're working with people, and I mean, I've had people come on my teams and say, hey, you know what, I'm thinking about transitioning in the next 6 months or whatever. You know, like that, I think ideally that's really great that you can have a friendship and you can talk about and be open and honest. It's hard. I mean, because you're like, okay, well, if you're moving, then what are you doing? Yeah. I mean, that's your feeling, but still. So I think a lot of times when you're young in ministry or just young in life, you have this idea that, oh, I'm in process, I can share this. You can't share it with them. I mean, especially in this situation.
Yeah.
So that's the first.
Because you, based on what he says about how the pastor responded last time.
Yeah, the pastor is just too weak to be able to handle that information. I mean, and whatever, you know, values loyalty too much. How's that?
There you go. That was a nice
Positive
spin there. Yeah.
You know.
I think I've handled it differently, being that leader who has some of that responsibility. I think sometimes when people say...
What leader? Like the senior pastor or this guy?
The senior pastor or the person who's in charge of some of that hiring and firing business, whatever. I think sometimes I've gotten hey, I'm thinking about this, and as soon as someone opens that door, I'm like, great, let's get a date on the calendar, you're out of here. Like, kind of like, if you're not with us, you're against us. I think a little later now, I'm trying to be more thoughtful and understanding that God is moving in them and what doors He opening in our world, and I'm actually going through that right now with someone who's processing their potential departure. But I think part of it is, if I want them to go, I'm like, hey, great, perfect, this is awesome. I don't have to. This feels really good. And if I don't want them to go, I'm way more generous with hey, let's figure this out. Let's talk it through. Let's process. So I'm not saying that either is right or better. I just think I've leaned differently early in ministry than I do now, and I think I also lean based on how badly I want to keep them, which is unfortunate but true.
But do you think about what's best for them?
Yes, very much so. But I can't help but think of how we're taking a hit. So if I'm like, this person needs to move on, this is going to be so good for them. God prepared them. We've done all we can. This is their moment. But I can't help but go.
That's who you are. But
I also want to go, man, we're losing that talent here. We're losing that calling. We're losing this gifting. We're losing. And that sucks. When you have to lose, I don't like losing.
I don't like losing.
Yeah, but
I've just lost so much in my life.
Write that on your calendar.
No, I mean, to me, for literally though, what I mean by that, let me translate that into English. I mean, to me, I just don't have that. If the ministry takes a hit for a while, that's okay. You know, I mean, and maybe, you know.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately as leaders, let's just play in the ideal. ultimately leaders, we want people in their sweet spot.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
want people,
Sure.
if God's calling you somewhere, but also as leaders, we've got to help people get in their sweet spot.
Totally.
So, I think, I've been sad when people have left my staffs before for whatever reasons,
Yeah.
but really, after the sadness wears off, you're going, great, let me celebrate that with you, because
Right.
if that's where God's calling you to,
Right.
to go, and that's where, he says, I would prefer to avoid pain if God is in fact leading for a change.
Yeah.
So if God is in fact leading for a change,
Does not preclude no pain.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, and that's I think you have to step in that direction. You lean into that. As Matt said, you can't control the pastor's response, but if it's in fact, if you're processing it out loud for the pastor, in some ways to get something out of it, like I'm kind of
Just find
Yeah.
somebody
What's
else to
your
talk
angle?
to.
Yeah.
Find
Dear
another
Abby,
safe
go
person.
write a blog or something. But
Oh gosh.
what
Nothing.
was that mean?
No.
Oh,
Yeah, it's wonderful.
thank
I
you.
think you've got to find a couple of people who are safe, who you trust to
Yeah.
process what God's doing in your heart, and then what's happening at the church is it's like two railroad tracks. Things are going to be happening simultaneously, and you're kind of in control of what's happening with you, and
There's
what's
lots of
happening
things
with
to
the
know.
church is going to be happening with the church, and you are going to have people that respond well and people that don't respond well, and even the healthiest of leaders don't respond well at times because
Yeah.
you're dealing with humans.
Yeah.
So there's just, I think you have to process what God's doing first. And what does that mean? Obviously, he seems like he's nudging you into something
that
new.
is
So
what it sounds
find
like.
your couple of people to process that with and take those steps. And then God is big enough to handle what's happening at your church. And
Yeah,
the
he's
pastor.
big enough to call you away. He's big enough to
Definitely.
fill the
Yeah.
gap that's now left.
Yeah.
It's good.
All right, we're at 30 minutes, which we said we're going to try. We're going to try a shorter show and see what happens.
I'm gonna try to go download that app for tonight. I have 2 hours.
And this,
before
this
Scavenger Hunt.
You had 3 hours.
real
just a
quick,
little
real
bit
quick.
ago.
Well,
This
time goes
nameless
fast.
person, if we didn't answer your, I think I felt like we kind of answered the second part of the question, but not the first part.
Yeah.
And so if you feel like that, email us back again, and we'll hit the first part.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah. More specific, the better. Send your questions to webshowdownload
Short and pithy.
youthministry.com. Even now, send your answers. Just let us know
I
what the
like
question
that.
was.
Or put the
Send-
answers up on the blog too. You can do that, right?
Yeah,
YouTube,
post it on
on-
YouTube
yeah,
page
YouTube
or whatever.
channel.
A lot of people, it seems like a ton more people are on iTunes than are on YouTube right now. So I think sending them in or posting those comments
Yep.
would be fun.
Leave
So send in your
comments on
questions,
iTunes.
send in your answers. I like that.
There you go.
That's fun.
And when the game stands tall, August 22nd.
August 22nd, be there.
Yep.
See ya.
Bye.
Josh has a cameo in it.